We're here at a committee of one, Rules and Elections Committee special meeting. It's 4:40 basically on Wednesday, June 1st, 2011. So I know we have a bunch of oral reports that I was going to just say on number one. I was going to request whether or not we could get written reports on some of these or all of these. Is there anything extremely pressing today that anybody wants to say orally to me before we...
Harith Trivedi from the City Attorney's Office. Not extremely pressing, other than just say that all of these are in the pipeline. The first ordinance regarding the pension measure has already been in council. We'll have a second reading in 30 days, so that one's sort of to bed. The others are all being drafted in consultation with CAO, CLA, and other offices, council and mayor offices.
So we have some like enforcement already, not enforcement, but like the Measure H, the Ethics Commission has said, essentially people should be abiding by it even though we don't have the implementing ordinance yet, correct? Good.
So they all should be within 30 days or so in a much more advanced state, maybe to council by then.
Are you writing all these?
No, I have
Everybody
the attorneys that are working on all of them here with me. I'm just sort of...
Who's working on Office of Public Accountability? Oh, you are? Excellent. All right. How's that coming?
Going on fine.
Good.
Working with CAO, CLA.
Uh-huh.
We're working as a team to...
What's your timeline, you think? Next 30 days?
Well, I would imagine so. We're before the E&E committee, I think this coming Tuesday.
Right. Okay.
And we would anticipate that from that committee, the council would be receiving a report with instructions to the city attorney to draft.
Right.
And so we'll be reporting to
Why don't you come forward just while you're speaking, just to make sure it's on the record. Don't worry.
Sure.
There's thousands of people listening to us on council phone.
Okay. Fred Merkin, outside counsel here. We're going to be reporting to the committee, E&E committee, this coming Tuesday with regard to a roadmap for initial implementation. Mm-hmm. What's being discussed is a two-phased or multi-phased implementation, with the initial phase being trying to get the executive director on board in a very deliberate way, expeditiously. And so it's to that end we're going to be presenting the steps that are required to bring that about and get the operation up and running.
I have a strong interest in that. Obviously, there's talk about rate increases that we even talked about recently, and having the executive director in place at least to oversee. I know there's been money set aside since the whole office probably won't be up and running for the for PA Consulting to do some of the analysis again this year, but I'd like to make sure they're overseen by an executive director of a ratepayer advocate type of person. So, okay, and so that would go to E&E and then come back to committee. Is that, do we know what here?
No, after it goes to at E&E, that committee, of course, will decide how to proceed. But I would imagine that from that committee they could report to the council with proposed drafting instructions to the city attorney for an administrative code provision, and then also an initial budget be instruction to the CAO with the assistance of the city attorney for the initial budgetary ordinance for the Office of Public Accountability. So those two ordinances would be the product that's drafted under those instructions.
Okay. Great, and I'll talk to the chair of E&E and see. I can probably wave it out of here or something and make sure it continues forward. Okay, great. And library funding piece is moving along?
Yes, I have Basha Jankowski from our office on that one. We are waiting for, as Basha can elucidate, some guidance from the CLA on the numbers that need to go into that one as it comes out of the budget.
The budgetary side of things?
Yes, Basha Jankowski, City Attorney's Office. The way that the charter amendment read was that a minimum of 45% of the increase would go this year to the library. So basically, the ordinance has to identify exactly what funding from the increase the library will get this year, and it'll follow that way every year for 3 years, and in the final year, basically, the whole percentage 0.0300 will go to the library, and then we'll just repeal the ordinance. The ordinance is only for the...
Oh, it's just for that interim period?
For that interim period, correct. So I'm waiting to hear from the CLA, but we're ready to go.
Great. Well, I will direct then written reports on each of these. We'll probably take it up in 3 weeks' time, I think. 3 weeks? 3 weeks' time, so before the beginning of the fiscal year, but after the next 2 weeks. Okay? Is there anything else? Anybody really wants to stick around? Then go home, everybody. This meeting's adjourned. Today, huh?